to be cut from the front or not to be? That is the question. Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Hank from Wizard's Den, and welcome to Sample Card Talk. This is part 2 of the Differentiating Sample Cards episode. If you haven't watched part 1, I recommend you to watch that episode first, as we will skip some of the basic information in this episode. I'll paste the link in the description of this video. So, as I explained in part 1, there are 2 characteristics that have to be used to differentiate sample cards: the color difference and the cut direction difference. In this episode, I'll talk about the cut direction of the cards. Cards are printed in sheets, and they have to be cut out after they have been printed. To do this, a paper cutting machine is used. A paper cutting machine would have moving blades that would go through stacks of sheets from top to bottom, like a guillotine. This process indicates that there could be 2 different variations for cutting the cards. It could be cut from the front or from the back. I have made a discovery that both variants of the cutting direction exist in the sample cards, and this differentiates the origin of their source. Coming back to the summary table, the silver pack samples were cut from the back, while others were cut from the front. So if we check the cards and determine the cut direction, we can differentiate all 3 sources of samples, combined with their color difference. So, how do I check which side it was cut? First, let's analyze what happens to the paper when it is cut by the machine. When the blade cuts the paper, the side where the blades enter will cave in a little due to the pressing movement of the blade. When the blade exits, the place where the cut was made will flange out a little. The result is as shown in the diagram. You will end up with a card that has one side of the edges rounded and other side having the edges flanging out. Also, when the blades leave the paper, it can rip off the side of the paper when it separates the cards. This will show up as white nicks on the edge of the card, and these nicks would be visible on the side where the blade left. Let's look at the actual cards. Here are 3 samples of raw dromedaries. Do you notice that there are nicks on the front side of the silver pack samples? Then if you look on the back side, there are nicks on the other 2 samples. This shows how card nicking tends to appear strongly on the side where the blade left, and this itself can be used to determine the direction of the cut. Now let me introduce you how to formally confirm which side the blade came in. You first tilt your card and allow the reflection of the light to catch the edge of the card. As the side where the blade entered show a rounded edge compared to the side where it exited, the light reflection will be different. The side where the edge flanging happens will show up as in the image shown. The image shown here is a silver pack. You can see that the light goes all the way to the edge of the card on the front side, and that is a sign that the blade came in from the back side and left the front. Here are all 3 samples in one image. You can see that our packs and precons show the exact opposite of the silver packs. You can see that the rounded appearance and the flanging edges are easy to distinguish, making this method the best method to differentiate cut directions. Now, it's interesting to note that Eric Curiosa made a comment about this cut direction in a Kickstarter update on December 22nd, 2022. It explained as, quote, "We ordered many extra cutting molds to ensure that the edges and corners are cut with fresh and sharp blades. Another cutting detail is that all cards will be cut from the front to back. This means that while we try to make the cut as perfect as possible overall, the front would be the cleaner side of the suit." So, it looks like that this decision was made during the sample card production. It is clear that the silver pack samples do not have a cleaner edge compared to the rest. It lines up with the fact that the art pack and precon samples were produced later than the silver packs, implementing the cut direction change with other updates. We can all appreciate the level of detail that Eric Curiosa is considering in order to get the best product out. Also, it shows how producing sample cards is an essential process to test out the actual quality of the final product, and did serve its purpose. The purpose of sample cards are not to make extra tiers of collectibles, it is to dry run the actual production process. So, that's it for part 2 of the Differentiating Samples episode. Combined with part 1 of the video, this mini-series will be a complete reference for any sample card collectors in the future for differentiating the origin of the samples. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for future episodes regarding sorcery. Thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great day.